Pottery Barn does the holidays really well. It's still that traditional feel, but with a modern twist. And this season, they have a new collection called the Fantastical Forest Collection. And I thought I could use some Dollar Tree items to recreate the same look. We're kicking things off with this cheese board that's made of mango wood, and it has this cute nickel fox with an antique finish. So I picked up some of these resin figures from the Dollar Tree and applied some silver spray paint. To get the whole antique finish, I just went in with some paint just to get into the grooves, and then I wiped it off with a damp paper towel. For the actual cheese board, I thrifted this set of 3 for just $4.99 and found one that was perfect for this project. I then used some 3M industrial adhesive to adhere the scroll to the board. Also in this collection is this decanter, and I love all the etched details. Now I couldn't compete with Pottery Barn in that aspect, but I did find this decanter for just $2.99. I used some acorns that I got from the Dollar Tree and just spray painted them silver with some aging, and that was it. The bear ice bucket in this collection is so adorable, and you can definitely find so many options for jars at the Dollar Tree. I picked up this larger jar along with some puff paint from the Dollar Tree to create some details on the lid. I then spray painted that silver and of course added some aging. Using one of the resin figures, I did the same painting technique that I did for the squirrel, and then I used my 3M spray adhesive to make sure it stuck securely on top. I typically gravitate towards more earthy and neutral colors for fall. These paper mache pumpkins from Crate and Barrel are just beautiful, especially the chocolate pumpkin. When you use neutral colors in your space, it helps to transition between seasons more seamlessly. Dollar Tree, of course, has multiple options for pumpkins. You can go with the resin ones, which are a little sturdier, or you can go with the foam ones, which are slightly bigger. I found these pumpkins while thrifting for just $4.50 for all 3, and then I simply just went in with some drywall plaster to add the same texture. After covering all 3 of these pumpkins, I did let them sit overnight so that they would be fully dried before painting. Now, as you can see, the color did bleed through on some of them, but I am going to take care of that a little bit later. I did remove this stem because I just wasn't feeling it. It was giving me Hocus Pocus vibes, and although I do love the movie, that's not really my style decor-wise. I had some great chalk spray paint on hand, so I'm using that more so as a primer to get rid of that green. So I always save my scraps from previous projects because you just never know when you're going to need something. And this wooden piece I got from a toilet plunger from the Dollar Tree that I used for another project. I added some plaster just to make sure that everything blended in really well and was more cohesive. After adding a few layers of paint, here's the final result. I found these marble coasters over at Anthropologie and thought it would be a really quick and easy DIY. I have these marble coasters that I thrifted a while back for just $4.99 for a set of 4. I then used 2 of these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree to recreate a similar look. So you're going to start by cutting out your design, and then you want to peel off that first layer and put the design side down onto the surface that you're trying to transfer the design to. You then want to use something dull, so you can use your finger. I'm not sure if they have a tool specifically for this, but then you just want to rub gently and firmly to get the design to transfer onto the surface. Once your design is in place, you want to slowly and carefully peel it off. If some of the design is still stuck to the clear film, you just place it back down and rub again firmly. I mentioned in my last video how much I love warm metals, but I also love metals that look tarnished and aged, like this candle holder from our house. I'm using one of these glass jars from the Dollar Tree to recreate a similar look, and you can currently pick this up for $1.50. For my base color, I'm using a few layers of Rust-Oleum's metallic gold. If you want your spray painted projects to come out really nice and smooth, make sure you wait until each layer is dry before spray painting the next. Once the gold paint was dried, I went in with this black spray paint that I picked up for $1 at Michael's on a huge clearance sale. However, it is super stinky, so I would strongly recommend that you use a mask when you are spray painting, not just for this project, but for all projects. I think this is something that every DIYer needs in their toolkit, so I did go ahead and linked it below. Pottery Barn has these terracotta-like pumpkins that comes in 2 different sizes, and I'm going to replicate the smaller one using this Dollar Tree pumpkin. I started off by mixing some baking soda and paint, and then I applied a pretty thick layer onto the pumpkin. Because of that, I did let it sit overnight to make sure it was completely dried. So here's a pro tip. If you want your pieces to look more stone-like, simply increase your ratio of baking soda to paint. That's going to result in a more stone-like, dusty finish. You can additionally go in with some more paint if you'd like. I did just to tone down some of the gray areas, and then I sanded the whole jar to make everything blend and be more cohesive. For the candle wax, I'm actually using candle sand that I bought from Amazon, and this stuff is amazing. You simply just pour it inside, and then you cut your wick down to size and stick it right in. You can also add in your favorite essential oils, light your candle, and then enjoy. When you're finished, you simply just remove the wick, and you can reuse the wax in another container if you'd like. I also wanted to point out how easy it is to achieve some designer looks using Dollar Tree items. In this case, you just simply grab one of the glass jars and then some of the smaller pumpkins, and that is it. You can always change the color palette, and just like that, you have something very similar to the Pottery Barn look. Anthropologie has these rustic patinaed baskets, and I love how they're displayed hanging together. However, I'm going to take a similar concept and apply it differently. So I picked up these pumpkin wreath forms from the Dollar Tree for $1.75 each. I simply just applied some gold spray paint and then stuck in some florals that I picked up from Hobby Lobby on sale last year. and that was it. These wood stems are so versatile and they're perfect for quick DIY projects. Using some magnets from the Dollar Tree, I simply just put hot glue on the wood stem and then stuck a magnet on top. These are perfect for your bulletin boards or just to put little notes on your refrigerator. So using some of the leftover acorn pieces from the decanter project, I decided to use it with the wood stems to make some card holders. I simply dipped it in some wood stain and then wiped off the excess and then used some hot glue to glue them onto the wood stem. In my last video, I shared this amazing Dollar Tree DIY pillow along with so many other high-end Dollar Tree inspired DIYs. I'm talking lighting and so much more. Make sure you check that video out right here.